Hello, everyone, and welcome to E3 with John Guns. I am supposed to be on vacation. I am on vacation, but after yesterday and the message, I was so inspired to want to just take a break. So Pastor G is hanging out and enjoying herself, and I'm working briefly, but this ain't really work for me. This is what I do. This is what I be. And so I'm excited because yesterday really spoke to me. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about combating complacency. Now, before I get deep into that, I need a favor. I need two things. First thing is I need you to, those of you who get the daily quotes and inspirational texts from me, I need you to share the information with at least 5 people to sign up. I want us to get to 1,000 people within the next 7 days. I think we're at like 400 or 500. Ray can give us a better count, but I want to get to 1,000 people. Because the inspirational texts are really blowing people's mind, and it's crazy. That's a part of what I want to talk about today. And so at the end, Ray's going to come on. He's going to give you the information. He's going to give you the information, and he's going to encourage you to encourage others. Now, if you're watching and you've never signed up for the E3 inspirational texts, you need to do that today, because I promise you it will bless you and it will encourage you. Okay, so I want to encourage that today. Yesterday, the Lord, it was interesting because yesterday was one of those amazing moments in ministry. I had planned to talk about these 6 spirits that are attempting to put out your fire. But because of everything that went on, our lights and sound went on, because there was a power surge in the community, and it affected us. And by the time we finally got up and running, Pastor G and I had to leave to go to the airport. But God allowed me to begin this series by talking about complacency. And it was such a powerful moment. I got so many positive texts and statements about it, till I felt the burden to come on today and to talk about combating complacency. So I need everybody to invite somebody right now. I need everybody to invite somebody. I need you right now to just invite. Right? Invite somebody right now, especially people you love. People that you really want the best for them, your children, your grandchildren, your best friends, your spouses, your significant others, whoever. Invite them right now. Co-workers, all right? Invite people right now, because I promise you E3 is about to blow your mind and bless you, like for real. So the Lord began to deal with me about this whole idea of complacency. And it's funny because, again, in my own mind, complacency is about laziness, but it really isn't. Complacency is about self-satisfaction, which leads you into a place where you are conveniently ignoring danger signs and warning signs. And you've gotten to a place where you're so in your comfort zone. I mean, you're so relaxed, if you will, until you're not living with the healthy tension of urgency. The healthy tension, put that in the thread, healthy tension of urgency, right? And so there's this whole thing going on with you where you are comfortable, and you're not pushing, and you're not pulling yourself, and you're not being stretched, and you're not allowing yourself to go after things at another level. And so immediately the Lord began to deal with me about this whole idea of complacency. And so I want to begin with a quote from Dr. Benjamin Mays, one of the great thinkers of the 20th century, a man of profound impact educationally, socially, religiously, a man whose life is marked and measured by excellence and success, a Black man who lived in the crucible of the civil rights movement and was an influence for those like Dr. Martin Luther King and others. Dr. Benjamin Mays, he wrote, "The tragedy of life is not found in failure, but complacency. Not in you doing too much, but doing too little. Not in you living above your means, but below your capacity." That's such a big statement. It's not failure, but aiming too low, that is life's greatest tragedy. It is when you live not above your means, but below your capacity. People who become complacent, first of all, they don't know they're complacent because they're too comfortable in an unhealthy place. But here's the other thing. People who live in complacency also do not know that they're about to become irrelevant. An organization, a church, a family unit that operates in complacency will eventually arrive at a place of mediocrity. Complacency leads to mediocrity. Pat Riley once said, complacency is the last hurdle standing between any team and its potential greatness. Complacency is the last hurdle. Getting people past this comfort zone, getting people past this kind of lazy doing just enough. There it is. Doing just enough. Never going beyond, never stretching beyond, never trying something beyond, just kind of living in the place of complacency. See, the tragedy of complacency is that it breeds eventual apathy, which can lead to ignorance. Ignorance isn't, quote unquote, that you're stupid. I would suggest ignorance is an unwillingness to know where you are in life and what you need to do to get to the next place. Now, I'll be very transparent. If you're not motivated to do better, if you're not motivated to be better, then I totally understand why you don't do any more. If you're not motivated to grow, to try, to change, then I totally understand why you're comfortable. And why there's no effort being made to be a better Christian. There's no effort being made to be a better spouse. There's no effort being made to be a better friend. No effort being made to be a better employee or a better employee. You know, right now, I'm in a space where I so want to be a great pastor and I so want to be a great dean. I so want to be a great husband. I so want to be a great daddy. I so want to be a great G daddy. I have some things that I so want to be good at. And reality is that being good at it is not just the measurement internally, it's also the external measurements. Meaning that at some point, in the words of my mother, she used to always say to me, people say, I don't care what nobody thinks. And my mom used to say, but you need to care. Because at some point, what people think about you becomes the measurement of who you are. Now, again, I understand how we deal with this. No one should ever control who you are, but you at least need to be open. Isn't it amazing that every company does surveys to see how they can better serve? Every flight I take, I get an email from American, Delta, and yesterday Southwest. How was the experience? What can we do better? When you're complacent, you don't do that. Your attitude is, I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I'm going to do me. The problem is if you don't push yourself, then you're going to ultimately become mediocre and average, and you're going to exist below your capacity. I need somebody put in the thread. No, I will not. I will not exist below my capacity. I will rise to the higher level. I will do the most amazing and incredible things. Martin Luther King once said, and I love this, he says, we are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. There is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. We all know he was referring to the civil rights movement and the need to make some changes. I mean, but listen at his words. There is such a thing as being too late. When you're complacent, you're going to miss your window. When you're complacent, you're going to miss your door. When you're complacent, you're going to mismanage the opportunities. So I came on today while on my vacation to say to you, do not mismanage this season of your life. I came on off of my vacation for 25 minutes to say 20 minutes to say to you, don't blow this. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. This is too big of a window. So you got to get over your ego, so that people can help you and correct you and help you grow. You got to get over this sense of being independent when you need to be dependent for a season, or at least interdependent. You got to get over this sense of trying to hide your mistakes. Sometimes the hiding of your mistake is how your mistake becomes a permanent flaw. You got to get over coddling people who are not healthy for you. I don't care if they're family. I don't care if they've been your buddy for years. You got to get past this space where you are allowing people to drag you down, to slow you up. Remember, Pat Riley said, complacency is the last hurdle, standing between a team and its potential greatness. Your potential greatness is tied to getting past complacency. And if I can tell you very honestly, that's one of my big fears for our church, and one of my big fears for the church in general, particularly the Black church. I don't want you to be complacent. I don't want you to feel self-satisfied. I want you to feel an urgency. So let me give you some steps. You can write this stuff down, right? These are not just my thoughts, and some stuff I've read, some stuff I've been thinking about over the last 24 hours. Here's the first thing. Treat every day like a new day. Treat every day like a new day. Now, I know that immediately sounds like a contradiction because, hey, today is a new day. Nah, a lot of people don't have new days. They just have one long day for a year, for 5 years, sometimes for 50 years. They're in the same pain. They're in the same anguish. They're in the same anxiety. They're in the same frustration. They're in the same dysfunctions. Every day is actually the same day. Groundhog Day. Y'all remember that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? And he kept waking up, and he kept reliving, but he started adding improvements to the day until one day he woke up and he was out of the same day and he was into a new day. Here's the thing I want you to understand is that every day can only be a new day when you do a couple of things. One, when you wipe clean the slate of what happened the day before. How do you do that? You do that through personal prayer, meditation, and reflection. You wipe clean the slate. You listen. Some of the tasks I did the day before may spill over to the next day, but I'm going to be doing that task in a way that's going to ensure that eventually I won't wake up to that task. There are some people who bother me, who hurt me, and I got to get past it so that when I wake up the next day, I'm not living in the same thing. So it's a time of reflection, meditation, devotional, reading of the word, meditating, journaling, right? Creating some lists of things that you need to do. Spending quality time in the presence of God and in the company of people that you can live reflectively with. Wow. Every day needs to be a new day. Here's the other thing. You need to make sure that you amp up your urgency each day. Amp up your urgency each day. What does that mean? That means when you wake up knowing you won't get this day back. Okay, remember that phrase I give you every day? This is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice. This is the day that the Lord has entrusted into our hands. We are steward of that day. We must aggressively do good in that day so that we can continue to move forward into the next day. So there's this idea of ramping up the urgency. That's not the same as panic. That's not the same as frustration. When I amp up my day, I'm excited about the possibilities of what's in my hand, and I'm ready to pursue the things that I know God has for me. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will ramp up. I will amp up the urgency. Urgency for me is the cutting tension that great people live with each day. It's this sense of the now requires my best effort. Wow, that's it. Put that in the thread. Now requires my best effort. In this moment, I have to be able to produce at the highest level, to achieve at the highest level, to perform at my highest level, to give my absolute best. Yesterday, when I got on the plane, I was exhausted because between 9 a.m. and 10:30, I gave my best effort. I threw everything I had into yesterday. I threw everything I had into yesterday. Here's one of the other things, and it comes from a quote. The quote says, "The danger of success is complacency. It comes in two forms: arrogance and inflexibility. Here's the key to making sure that you don't become complacent: that you allow yourself to see the arrogance in you, and then you tackle inflexibility. Inflexibility is when you decide this is the only way it can be done. It's the only way it can be done. It's the only way it can be done. It can't be done any other way. It can't go any other way. There is no other way to do this. Here's what I discovered. If you're inflexible, you are going to live a life where you will miss opportunities to grow, because growth comes with adaptability. Growth comes with adaptability. It doesn't mean that I conform for the sake of conforming. It means that I adapt, I shift, and I am flexible, because what I am doing is advancing me, growing me, shaping me, shifting me, giving me more of an opportunity, allowing me to take some risk I wouldn't normally take. The danger of success is that you can become complacent. The great teams, the great players, I use it in a lot of sports. Kobe Bryant became one of my favorite players towards the end of his basketball career. Want to know why? Because he kept reinventing himself. He kept adapting to the changes in the game. He played 20 years, and he went from the era when they would elbow you and your spleen would split and they wouldn't call a foul, to now, if they breathe on you, you get a foul. And he found the ability to adapt to the changing dimensions, the changing stages of the NBA. What right now do you have to adapt to? I'm understanding that at this stage of my life, I can't be complacent. I'm learning a whole new skills. I'm developing a whole new skill set as the dean, right? But I'm also developing a whole new skill set as the pastor of St. Paul. I've been at the church 26 years. I could easily settle in because I don't have many challenges. I mean, our giving is, can be really great, then it can go down. I mean, that's about the only inconsistency I have. For the most part, I've got a feeling of where our church is very strongly. I understand my team as much as they may think I don't. I do. I get you guys, and all this stuff is going on around me, and I get it. I get what God is doing, and it's real easy when you're counting down to be only concerned about the countdown and not about the capacity to do greater things on your way to your exit. Reality is that complacent people are only looking at the exit. They're not looking at the process. Wow. They're not looking at the process anymore. They're looking just at the exit. And I don't want to look just at the exit. I don't want to look just at the exit. I want to look at the opportunities and the possibilities. And so those who fight complacency, you know what makes it amazing? They defeat complacency because they have the ability to adapt willingly and to change excitedly. Wow. Some of you are being forced to change and you hate it. Some of you are being forced to grow and you're rejecting it, which means you don't understand the power of growth nor the wonderful opportunity. Here's the other thing that becomes amazing, is that in your adaptability, as you are focused on the process and appreciating the process, here's the other thing that happens. You discover people whose voices become necessary for your growth and your development. You discover people who become a healthy part of your development. So now you may be successful here. One of the things I love about my preaching circle of friends, people like Jerry Carter, Billy Curtis, just Jeff Dennis, Derek Triplett, it's just a whole lot of them. Rudy McKissick, Leoford Thomas, John, it's just a whole lot of them, right? Sisters Gina Stewart, Cynthia Hale. One One of the most amazing things about all of these people and the hundreds of more that I know, I should have started calling names, hundreds of more that I know, is that they are never, ever satisfied. I am serving as dean. I've bumped into people like Paul Flowers. Paul Flowers to me has this incredible dream to be a president of a school. And I see him working towards it. You know, people who have dreams. You know, that's why I love being the dad of Alexis and Deja Taylor and the father-in-law of Clark, because they just have this urgency about life right now. And they're grinding. That's the genius. I'm so proud of my wife. I mentioned a week or two ago how well she's doing in school and how she's being driven. No complacency. Complacency does a couple of things, though. It removes the pain that's necessary for development. It removes the pain that's necessary for development because you're trying to avoid pain when sometimes pain is necessary. But the other thing complacency does is that it makes you agree with what you're not built to agree with. It makes you agree with what you're not built to agree with. You're not built to agree with being average, with being unproductive. So I want to close with this. One of the most amazing things is that when you understand who you're created to be, and you're willing to walk through the process, and you're open to adaptability, and you're willing to have tough conversations that sometimes will come with correction, and you're open to development, you're open to growth, and you are doing the things you need to do. Here's the last thing. Make sure that you recharge your battery. Complacent people no longer do the things to keep themselves recharged. They're kind of living off old energy. And sometimes they don't even care about energy at all. But here's the amazing thing. When you are willing to go to the next level, you will be amazed at where God will take you. So I curse complacency in your life. I curse this agreeing with the average. You are built to thrive. So thrive and watch where God takes you. Hey, go sign up for the E3 quote. Ray's getting ready to come back on, and he's going to tell you how to do that. And then, and thank all of you who gave anything to me for my birthday. My birthday is actually next Monday, but the church decided to celebrate it yesterday. And so I'm grateful. Hey, don't give in to complacency. This is your season. One of my favorite phrases. Seize the moment. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. And we'll see y'all Thursday Recharge.
Wow, what an amazing word. Thank you so much, Dr. Guns, Bishop Guns, my Ding Guns, for teaching us today about how to combat complacency. The reality is, as he said, is that success is on the other side of the struggle. And oftentimes it becomes so easy to want to give up. It becomes so easy to want to throw in the towel. It even becomes so easy, as he taught us tonight, to kind of pause where we are, that we don't realize that if we keep going, that there's greatness on the other side of our grit. So thank you so much. Listen, I want to encourage you, if you're watching this, if you're watching the playback, however you're viewing or hearing this, I want to encourage you to join the E3 community. That's right. Join the E3 community. It's a group of us. It's about 530 of us. We're looking to cap off at 1,000 before the end of the month. So help me spread the word to join the E3 community. It's real simple. All you have to do is text the word E3 to 84576. That's right. Pull out your phone right now, type E3, and then the number you're sending it to is 84576. Once you do that, you'll follow one or two simple prompts, and that simple, you are going to be a part of our community, a place where we share information. You'll get daily inspirational quotes. You'll get give back information that we're doing. and it gives an opportunity for us to grow together. So why don't you do me a favor? If you haven't already signed up, do so. If you've already signed up, listen, friends don't let friends not be successful. So go ahead and share that information with your sphere of influence. And finally, I'm getting ready to go, but would you do me a favor? As you heard Bishop say, we are celebrating his birthday. His birthday technically is next week, but this is our week of love and celebration. And so I'm imploring you, I'm asking you, would you do me a favor? Would you help me celebrate this man of God, this visionary, this innovative genius? How can you do it? It's real simple. You can give, you can sow your gifts to $Bishop JEG on Cash App. It's that simple. $Bishop JEG on Cash App. You can sow your gifts. It is no way that we could pay for what it is we heard. Reality is, great information I have learned is invaluable in cost because it is so great. There's no amount of money, there's no check you could write for what you receive. So we're not trying to pay for the word that we heard. We're simply coming to say happy birthday. We're simply coming to say thank you for taking time where you're supposed to be resting and rejuvenating to continue to pour into us. Thank you for seeing enough in us, for making the sacrifice in your moment of respite to be able to make sure we're good. And so we want to come like, listen, I'm encouraging everybody who can. Check it out. Here we go. I don't mind asking. I need 30 people right now who will help me sow a $30 seed. That's it. I'm not asking for nothing big. Listen, if you go out to eat tonight, right now, you're going to spend more than $30. I'm asking 30 people to join me with a $30 gift as our way of saying that we love you and we appreciate our bishop. That's right. 30 people, $30. Tonight, it's the 30 for 30. That's it. Go ahead. Are you one of them? If you're one of them, I simply want you to type in the comments, count me in. If I can count it, matter of fact, I need 29 because I'm the first one. I need 29 more people who are going to help me with a $30 gift to show that we're so grateful for what it is that he's given us on tonight and our way of saying happy birthday. If that's you, simply type in the comments, count me in. The information to give is on the screen. It is Cash App. His Cash App is $Bishop JEG. Listen, it's been a phenomenal time we've had tonight in our E3. Looking forward to having this moment again on next Monday. Until then, listen, have an amazing week.